Well, hey guys, how are you? Hope you guys are.
This week we are in historic Virginia for the 4th of July. We will be visiting colonial Williamsburg, Jamestown, and Yorktown, and changing plans to adapt to the extreme heat we found ourselves in. In the midst of all of this, we will highlight how we stayed connected on this part of the journey. So, let's get started. Alrighty, so we are in Williamsburg currently. We are on our month-long trial full-time living trip. As you can see, it is raining. Honestly, not sure if anyone can hear me over this rain. It's kind of loud right now.
We are continuing our trip in Williamsburg. It's 4th of July week, so we're going to be hitting a lot of patriotic events and places up. And so one of the places we're going to today is Yorktown. We're going to see a battlefield and what all else, I don't remember.
There's a settlement, I think, but we're really excited. I think last time we were here, we maybe stopped by for an hour. Decided we definitely wanted to go back, so we're going to spend the day there. We'll show you guys what it looks like, what happens there, but we're really excited to get our, I don't know, America on. We'll see you guys soon.
Just kind of wrapping up a really cool day in Yorktown. So we decided to spend July 4th week in Williamsburg, Virginia. It's a really cool area. And of course, 4th of July, what better place to be. Today we spent a little bit of time in Yorktown and toward the battlefield where the Battle of Yorktown was fought.
When we got there, we kind of watched a video about the battle there, what took place, what happened. And when we walked through this great little replica of a ship, just to see what that was like. It was a little bit too short for a tall height. I could walk through it just fine, but I'm only like 5'1".
Yeah.
Look at this. Look. Yeah. Benefits of being short right here. So it was definitely made for shorter people. But it was really interesting to see all of that. And they had this little place upstairs where we walked and looked at a little bit more.
So it's pretty cool. Apparently when the surrender happened, you had to surrender all of your weapons, your swords, your rifles, and your musical instruments. So you couldn't even have a trumpet anymore.
No more drumming for you. When a opposing army surrendered or was taken over, they not only had to give their weapons, but they also had to give their instruments. And when we've seen instruments in movies, drums and stuff being played, I was like, oh, that's cute, give them a little fun something to listen to while they're marching or march to the beat or whatever. It's not what that was for. In fact, they had a whole manual written of different songs and rhythms, and each different beat and each song meant something different. So there was one for breaking your tents down, and there was one for surrender, and there was one for pausing, and there was one for marching forward, and there was just a whole bunch.
How's he gonna remember all this?
And maybe so the opposing army didn't know what was going on because they all had their own little songs. But it was really interesting to kind of see that and understand that piece a little bit better.
Yeah, definitely. And, just to learn a little bit about, there were two, what are they called? The hills, 9 and 10,
Okay, yeah.
When you go to the visitor center, one of the other things you can do, a couple of things. We went to a ranger talk, which was about 30-45 minutes, and she was phenomenal. This lady has been a park ranger for 20 years, and she's just getting ready to retire. which is really unfortunate because I think we're losing a lot of the really great storytellers in our country. But she did a phenomenal job of really walking us through the Battle of Yorktown and its significance as being kind of the last major battle of the Revolutionary War. So that was really cool. And then we took a trip away from the visitor center, probably about a quarter of a mile. You walk down a trail, you kind of get to see a monument that was constructed to memorialize the battle. So this monument that you can see behind us was originally planned and commissioned by Congress in 1781 when the battle was won. It took 99 years to get funding, all the way till 1880 for Congressional Congress to approve the funding for the monument itself.
That paperwork took forever. But
Fun fact about the monument, in 1942, lightning struck it and decapitated the little lady and took her arms off. So they had to kind of put her back together. But yeah, I thought that was fun.
And then you walk into the historic Yorktown area. And so there are all these great stores and shops and very colonial looking homes.
Yeah, and a lot of people own the homes there too, which is interesting.
Yeah.
We did get a little snack at a shop there. One of the things that we did was take a drive around the battlefield, and it had an audio tour, so you could like listen and all these little important spots. So we saw what was the 9 and the 10? What's that name?
Redoubt 9 and 10.
I always keep forgetting that. It's just a weird name. So whenever they were in battle, they would build what's called an earthworks.
Awesome. So yeah, this was a really cool thing to see in person. The Army basically built these overnight. They're 6 to 7 foot tall, the berms that created sort of the first line of defense in terms of taking the battlefield.
In 10 minutes, the Americans took over Redoubt 10, which is a significant feat to do.
America.
And altogether to take both readouts took about 30 minutes.
Yeah, the surrender itself was pretty interesting too. So it took them several hours to negotiate the terms of the surrender and the location of the surrender. And there's a great monument at the site where where the British Army surrendered that talks, kind of gives quotes from different people who were there and present on both sides, and it also shares some of the narrative from the letter that was written by Cornwallis to the Crown, as well as by President Washington to the Continental Congress, or then General Washington to the Continental Congress. So it's really interesting to see that. That was a cool monument. Very well worth the trip. And the nice thing about the battlefield tour is that it's all drivable, so you can kind of pull into these locations. There's an audio tour that gives you a bunch of information. There are some places where you can walk off and kind of explore a little bit more, but very accessible for people regardless of kind of your abilities to be able to really see what that battlefield would have looked like back in the day.
So tomorrow we're going to be heading to Jamestown for the day. There's like a settlement over there, some ships that we saw last time, and then a whole like drivable area there too. So we're looking forward to seeing what that's about. Alrighty, so we are at historic Jamestown, and there are actually two parts to this place. One is owned by the National Park Service. We decided to get a National Parks Pass because we're going to be traveling a lot. That covers that area, and the other is privately owned. It has an archaeological dig site, a fort, a church, some other really cool stuff. We may come back to that tomorrow, Not really sure. We'll see what we get done today. But if you come here, and just know that if you go to the archaeological site, you're gonna have to pay 2 fees, but it might be worth it. It looks really cool. Fun fact number 500. A 1629 law instructed settlers to save their urine and provide it to the government because it was a major ingredient in homemade gunpowder.
That's disgusting.
Next up, we headed to Williamsburg. Last year, we also came here around the same time, and although it was hot, we had a great time spending the day in colonial Williamsburg. We visited every house available, listened to the fifes and drums play, and I got to partake in a reenactment of a court case, playing the part of the defendant who just didn't keep her house clean.
Your only job was to clean today.
It was really a fun time, so we decided to go back this year to enjoy a few of the things that we didn't get to do.
I felt it proper to refrain from voicing my sentiments on this issue.
So we are on our way over to Williamsburg again. It is July the 4th, and as you can tell, the weather is a little iffy today, so we have had a little bit of change in plans, but I'm going to try to enjoy Williamsburg one more time, especially on the 4th. It's very patriotic.
Yeah, it should be a really nice fireworks display, and it's really pretty, even though it's hot.
As long as it doesn't rain out the fireworks, so we'll see. So it is raining, and it is projected to rain for a few hours. So we are going to head back to the RV. I don't know, maybe watch some Hamilton or work on videos or something. Probably is going to rain out the fireworks, but I don't know, and I'm not sticking around for 3 hours to find out. So we'll see what happens for the rest of the evening. So we're in Williamsburg, and it is in the upper 70s. It feels like 111 outside. So we have decided to pack up early and start heading north a little bit sooner. That's one of the things that I love about RV living, is that you can just pack up and head out. If you don't like the space, don't like the weather, whatever, you can go somewhere else. So we're going to be heading north today.
It was so hot in Williamsburg that we decided to escape the heat. We were going to try to check out this place called Shenandoah Caverns. It stays around 56 degrees in the cave, so that was exactly what we were needing to get out of the 90, 100 degree temps in Virginia. So much cooler than the outside. And we also learned a lot. There was a guy named Mr. Hargrove that really developed a lot of the animated department store windows and floats for parades. And so he has a lot of the memorabilia in the little visitor center outside of the cave that's dating all the way back to the 40s. So I think it was really a cool thing, and one of my favorite things about the trip, kind of learning about the history and getting to see this aspect while we were waiting to go into the caves.
also have a little area where you can see some of the parade floats from back in the day. We didn't get to check that out, but we did see some stuff outside, like the Statue of Liberty, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, this week was all about learning new things, relearning things together. So, just wanted to kind of share with you guys how we feel like it benefits us and how it keeps us connected to each other while on the road.
Yeah. I think, you know, as a couple, you're kind of constantly learning and growing as individuals. And so when you can learn things together, it's kind of bringing you together, and you're both learning at the same time and both growing at the same time. Just creates a lot of adventure and a lot of fun kind of learning new things together.
Yeah, it's funny. I was kind of like contemplating it and actually kind of thought the same thing, that as humans, we're always like growing and learning. Just because that's the nature of being human. But when you're in a relationship and you're learning new things together, you're growing together, kind of in the same direction. And it's nice whenever you're interested in some of the same things. Growing up, I was not a history person. I did not like history. I never liked going to history class, probably because it was just reading from a book.
Anyone? The Great Depression.
But when we got to go to these places, it really like sparked that interest in me. And Matt always loved history stuff, so we both got like really excited to learn all of this new stuff together.
And for people, you know, that are not RVing, it's kind of interesting. Like, we did this even earlier in our marriage before we were able to buy an RV. You know, we would go to see a battlefield, or we would go see a memorial, or we'd go up to DC and look around, or you know, all of those are nice little trips that you can do. You know, but having an RV obviously makes it a lot easier, like, because you're constantly traveling to new places and seeing new things. And
I'm excited to keep learning new things and going to new places. The U.S. is like so full of learning opportunities and different things.
Like, we've blown through some areas that now I want to go back and like spend weeks. I could spend weeks or months in those places and really still not even see all of the things. So.
Beep.
Our pizza's ready, just in case you were wondering. It's well, the dough is rising. And get that, girl. Acrobatics.
No, timer. Where's the timer button?
Lower.
Where's it?
Lower.
Lower. That's surface light. Big fan.
Oh, higher.
Cancel. I hit cancel.
Make it stop. Make it stop.
Okay. So yeah, there's just so much more that I think we want to learn. Like in 2020, we traveled around and a lot of the visitor centers were closed. So even though we got to enjoy going to those places, it was a little different because we didn't get to learn as much as I think we could have.
Definitely. And I think it gives you, like, you know, we both have very different jobs, you know, on a day-to-day basis. And so, you know, I'm doing my thing, Stacy's doing her thing, but like, when we can go out and experience the world together and we're learning together, then again, it just kind of draws you back together around the things that you both really enjoy doing. When maybe you're going in different directions during the day, you're able to kind of bring it back together on the evenings and on the weekends when you're doing those things together.
It's a great point. I love that. He's so smart, isn't he?
No.
He's so smart.
No.
Leave us a comment below and let us know your thoughts. Next time we are continuing north to Pennsylvania for more fun and some new experiences. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button to follow us on our journey and get more tips on how to stay connected on the road. We'll see you next time.